Hey, what's up? My name is Henry, and in this one, I want to talk about how you can get your significant other on board with saving and investing. Because I've heard so many stories about people finally opening up their minds. They want to do it, they're going for it, they're gung-ho, they're going crazy, and then they can't get the other person on board. And it's a really sad situation because they have to be on board. If not, it will not work. So everybody has their own personality, their own way of living, their own ideas about career, success, life. Every couple has their own dynamic. Everybody is different. So how do you get someone on board? It's always hard to convince anybody or change anybody's mind about anything, let alone finance. So I never had the best credit with my wife, okay? I was a regular college dude, got a good job out of college, and I thought that was it. Then one day I decided to go crazy. And then I opened up my mind to investing, saving, real estate, stocks, life, success, everything. And I just took her on for this ride, right? And she was 100% supportive. So I was really, I think, lucky, but I also did a lot of things to help my odds of success. I'm gonna start off with the most important thing, communication. That is the key. You need to sell them the dream, okay? What is your vision? What is your goal? What is the whole point of all of this stuff? So for me, I was able to paint that picture for my wife, right? What is that life gonna look like after I do all of this stuff? That's the whole point, right? Like to invest, to save, to delay this gratification right now. Why are we doing all that, right? Why don't we just live good right now? At the end of the tunnel, the life is gonna be amazing. You can live the way you want. You don't have to worry about anything. So you don't have to worry about losing your job. You don't have to worry about the kids' college tuition. You don't have to worry about anything. Whatever it is, whatever's important to them, you have to paint that picture. I also explained all of the risks of doing this stuff. I didn't just say, oh, everything's gonna be fine. What are the things that are possibly gonna come up? How do we resolve that? I also explained the plan. What is the game plan, step by step, and the time frame that it will take. Give them something practical. It cannot just be this wild dream with no end date, with no target date. And it has to be a discussion, right? I didn't just lay it on her, this is the way or the highway. Multiple discussions, constantly discussing what I'm trying to do and have a discussion. What do you think? Okay, well, let's tweak the idea a little bit. Let's talk about it. And this is really good so that they know exactly what's going on every step of the way. There's no guessing, there's no confusion, there's no doubt. And at the end of the day, if anything even happened to me, I know she can take over these investments. So the worst is when you get it, right? You open up your mind, you see it, and you understand investing, passive income, real estate, stocks, dividends, and then you don't do anything about it. You just talk all day, talking. It builds no credit with the wife or the family. The next thing is you have to follow through. That's the other thing that really bugs me too. Let's say you get the dream, you get the idea, you have the vision, and then you go and you actually do it. That's great, you start it. You gave it a full week and then now you stop, you gave up. Like there's no consistency. That does not build credit with your wife. If they know you're that type, how are they supposed to support you and get behind you? So for me, maybe I'm just different. I'm completely crazy. When I get the idea, I do all my research, I go out there and I do it and I'm consistent. You can see me, I'm doing it every single day. I'm eating, sleeping, dreaming about this stuff. And I do it, constantly do it, every single day till everybody around me understand. They believe me. They're like, okay, I understand, I get it, you're crazy. There's no doubts, right? There's confidence. The next thing that I wanna go over is kind of goes with communication, constantly updating everyone around you. That's great when you had that initial discussion, you talked everything through, and now you're going and doing it. But you gotta give constant updates, constant discussion, right? What's the latest? What's going on? What's the plan? What are some of the things that's coming up? What are you doing about it? And when you don't do it, that's when you run into trouble. People start to question what's going on? What are they doing? Is this even working? The next thing is you have to adapt, okay? So I don't know you, okay? Everybody has different personalities, different dynamics, have discussions. Figure out what is it that they want, and you have to build on that, okay? You have to give them what they want. It has to be a win-win. Otherwise, you will not get the support. Okay, the next thing I think is really important that really worked for me was that I was selfless. Okay, so I put myself out there. I put in the work without expecting anything in return. I didn't expect anybody to change. I didn't expect anybody to do anything. So with my wife, we had plenty of discussions, okay? We talked about this all the time. I explained everything, every step of the way. I didn't expect anybody to just jump on board, right? Like just to get it right away. But at the end of the day, when things start to work, you start to chip away at it, they build confidence. Of course they're gonna be on board. This stuff, of course it works. And right now, if you look at the world, the pandemic, recession, this is a good time and a good example to show them. If you had invested, you would not be worried about, losing your job right now. You're not worried about waiting for a stimulus check or the unemployment to come in. You would have investments that would be, paying dividends or would be growing, or you had rental income, whatever. You had a list of things besides your job. So I've already convinced my wife a long time ago, right? I got 100% support from her and she 100% buy-in. But even now, I like to reflect, right? And have those discussions, like look at the world right now. After everything that we've done and all the investments and all the savings, all the stuff, all the delayed gratification, we're really not worried about anybody not paying rent, or we're not worried about losing our jobs. We're not worried about any one thing. We still have reserves to cover for a long time to get ourselves back onto our feet. All right, so the next thing I want to go over is huge. If you can't get the other person to save, all the communication in the world is not going to help. So what worked for me was I, had a discussion with my wife. We figured out how much do we spend every single week, every month. I found a number that we were both okay with. You have to make sure that you're both okay with it. You can't just come up with a number, throw it on her, and expect her to just get on board. Like, hey, this is it. This is how much you gotta spend, and that's it. They have to be okay with that number, and then you set up a checking account. You have a debit card. You throw that money in there. That is just for spending, right? You should have a separate account for all your other expenses or gas. Everything else goes to another account. And if you can stick with this account and spend only the money that's in there, what happens is now you can actually save money. I know people aren't big on relationships these days. I hear that a lot. But with 2 incomes, you can do so much more. The worst thing is if you guys cannot figure it out, not get on the same page, and you reach retirement age, you're both screwed. So with the work that I put in and the time and the effort that I put in to communicate the ideas and get my wife on board, we're able to invest and put our whole family in this situation where we're not worried about money. Even with the world the way it is right now, we're getting closer to that financial freedom, not dependent on a job, not dependent on any one thing, and actually both being happy in this whole process. So I feel super blessed. All right, so what do you think? Would this stuff work for you? So let me know, and thanks for watching, and good luck.